please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
How are we gonna do that?
I didn't ask her about that, but I think you could, we'll see what happens with that.
Okay, all right. All right, well, greetings, everyone. Once again, we shall start with Mayor Waller's quote for the day. Today actually the quote comes from an unknown author. When things do not go your way, remember that every challenge contains within it the seeds of opportunity and growth. All right, we shall move on. Well, first of all, I'll ask for roll call, please, Carolina.
Councilmember Selby, Miller,
Yes.
Gullikson,
Yes.
Mayor Waller.
Yes. All right, now we can look at tonight's agenda. We have a few items that we need to add. And I'll just bring it to the council's attention that under ordinances and resolutions, we'll add an item C right below the resolution accepting the resignation of Councilmember Krells. We'll add item C, a discussion regarding filling of the vacancy of Zach Krells. So that'll be item C. And then under citizens' comments, we have two individuals that would like to speak, and that would be Jim Stoker and Annette Watson. So what we can do now is I'll bring it back to the council. If you have any other items that you would like to add or change, now would be a good time, or if none, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
I will so move approval of the agenda with those additions.
I'll second.
Okay, thank you. We have a motion and a second to approve tonight's agenda. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. All right, and now we have our citizens' comments portion of the meeting, and I guess we'll begin, with Jim. If you want to approach the council?
Yes, thank you for your time, and I appreciate your service. I wanted to apologize for last week at the public comment at the public hearings. I mistakenly claimed that you had not noticed them correctly in the paper. I missed it. It's all my fault. It was there, and I appreciate your putting up with me in that. I will mention, however, that nobody got back to me on that. Even though I had sent the email 24 hours before, nobody had apparently checked whether the publication actually occurred. Even the city manager only claimed that that he had submitted it, not that it had actually occurred. And to me, that indicates the kind of a failure ongoing of our ability of the public to interact, which is what public hearings are all about. In particularly, the email channel, which the mayor has advocated, seems to have been ignored in that case. The online publication of the agenda failed last time because of some confusion about file names or something like that. I'm not sure what happened, but it wasn't posted till about 24 hours before. And the declining readership, unfortunately, of the Stephen County Times makes it undesirable as the sole location where these public hearings are announced. We need to find a better place to announce them beyond that. I know that's required, but there needs to be a place where more people will see it, I think. Likewise, the mayor and the council respond to comments, but not often. And oftentimes dismissal or somewhat dismissive of them, as was the case in those public hearings. And likewise, well, I talked about that nobody seemed to actually check the publication of things. I noticed also that, for instance, the agendas for the Planning Commission are never available online, which is somewhat problematic. I would like to at least see those. They're not even posted on the bulletin boards, nor were the agendas for this meeting posted, I don't think, on the bulletin boards as they used to be all the time. So that's just my comment on that. And again, thank you, and I do apologize for last week.
Now, Jim, normally we don't respond to citizens' comments, but I would like to address a couple of things you just mentioned. First of all, when you send emails to us and you incorporate all of our addresses on there, we have to be really careful about violating open meeting law, as you know. So if you're expecting a back and forth from us and members of the council, that won't happen. But I can assure you this, we all see your emails and your comments that you make, and we do appreciate getting those because it does help us prepare for our meeting tonight. So your messages are received, but with respect to the open meeting law, and we just don't want to get caught up in a back and forth. Hope you understand that.
I understand that. Thank you very much.
Okay. Annette?
So Annette Watson, live in Morris, and I'm just talking as a citizen, nothing more than a citizen, but just talking to my city council members. And I was reading the city manager's report, and someone had requested a no-mow May, and they were talking about the pollinators coming, but someone once talked to me about by Thedine Park, if one alley isn't mowed, then fireflies come out in the city of Morris. And so in the report that I read, it says that, you have ordinances that say, you're supposed to mow, so it'd be very difficult to pull back on that. So I don't know if you can have a no mow May this May, if you felt like legislatively you couldn't, but just encourage you as legislators, if even you added to the law that said, people need to mow all the time, notwithstanding the city council, then you can just make something up, can have 31 days where they can assign no penalty. And I remember, for not mowing, and I remember that Blaine once said that we were asking, or somebody was commenting up here about how are ordinances actually enforced? Because we have lots of rules, and his response was usually when someone calls us and informs us there's an infraction. So it could be just as simple as for May or whenever you decided to, whether it was 4 weeks or 2 weeks, to try to encourage the pollinators or the fireflies to breed so that we can have them around town, then you can just choose not to enforce it. So I think no mow May, or whenever you choose to do it, is an awesome idea whenever you get around to it. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, before we move on, would anybody else like to approach the city council? Seeing none, tonight we will move on. Then we have no public hearings. We shall move on to our reading and approval of our regular meeting minutes from February 24th, 2026.
I will move approval of the regular board meetings on February 24th, 2026.
I will second.
Okay, thank you. We have a motion and a second to approve our February 24th, 2026 regular meeting minutes. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Then we have our condensed version of those same minutes from February 24th, 2026.
I will move approval of the condensed version of the February 2024 minutes.
I will second. All right, we have a motion and a second to approve our February 24th, 2026 condensed version of the minutes. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We shall move on to our consent agenda, which tonight consists of an audit of city bills, our gambling reports, item C, pay estimate number 6, Project 1 Construction, Inc., Morris Liquor Store, and the last item is item D, our Morris Transit report. And I shall move approval of the items on the consent agenda.
I will second.
Okay, thank you. We have a motion and a second. I do have one question. Perhaps Whitney can help us with that. Line item 46, that Stevens County Auditor Treasurer, We have a line item there for $139,158, and there was a notation in there, it's a catch-up bill for January and February. Can you explain that to me, Whit? I just,
Yeah, that was the difference of 2025 contract amount to the 2026 contract amount, so they split it out by 12. So
Okay.
they were still billing of the old rates.
so we had an increase then, is what you're saying?
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah, so this January and February, they'd already billed us for, but then they realized they didn't bill us the correct amount, so they just sent us separate.
do we know what the
invoice.
exact dollar amount is of the increase, or not, or?
I don't off the top of my head.
Okay, it's,
Yeah, it's in the budget correctly and everything when the
Okay.
committee sat down together, so.
all right. It might be just good for us to know what the increase is, but it is what it is, I guess, to a point, but it'd still be kinda good to know. You don't have to get back to us directly, but
Yeah, and that was,
4,600 more a month.
how much?
I would say a little more than 4,600 a month.
Okay,
It shows 9,220.76 right after the
Oh.
amount, so I would assume that's for the 2 months. So half of that
about 40,
is
okay.
4610.
Okay. All right, thank you. That's what I needed to know. All right, great. Any other items of discussion on the consent agenda? Let's see. Yeah. All right, hearing none. We had a motion and a second to approve those items. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. All right. We shall move on to our petitions, requests, and communications. We have a library donation, a fire department donation, and a consent. I suppose we better take one at a time here. So we'll go with, first item up is that library donation.
I will move accepting a $500 donation from Kay Johnson to the Morse Library Fund.
I'll second.
Okay, thank you. We have a motion and a second to accept a $500 donation to the library. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. And then we also have a fire department donation.
I will move on the acceptance of a donation of $490 in memory of Rob Yule from various donors to the Morris Fire Department.
I will second that, and thank you to the various donors and the Yule family also.
Right, thank you, and I ditto that. Rob was a good man, firefighter, and he'll be missed. All right, so we had a motion and a second to accept a fire department donation in memory of Rob Yule. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next item before us is a consumption and display permit. This is for Crystal, let's see, Crystal Lanes and Entertainment Center. And this will run through April 1st, 2026 through March 31st of 2027. And then we'll need to make a motion to approve that also, I guess. So we have to approve the permit and then make a motion, or is it all one motion?
It's all one.
Blaine, huh? We have to approve the permit and then, I suppose,
We're just.
I just have a note
I
that
think it's all in one.
We're
it's
just
all-
It's
approving it.
renewing, it's not an
Yeah.
annual
Okay.
permit, so it's not something new.
it's not a
Yep.
new permit, okay.
I will move approval of the permit for Crystal Lanes and Entertainment Center, pending approval of their insurance or proof of the pending insurance that's required.
I will
Alright.
second.
All right, thank you. We have a motion and a second to approve the consumption and display permit for Crystal Lanes and Entertainment Center. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. All right, moving right along here, we have a tourism board marketing recommendation. I don't know, Blaine, would you want to speak to that maybe a little bit? There's quick.
Yeah, so the tourism board met and looked at some requests for marketing their events. There's 3 different events. One's the Jazz Crawl for the university. One's Russ Kinship's annual garden gala. And then the other one was for Prairie Harvest Fest. And actually, Prairie Harvest Fest, there's 2 requests that were put in. We're gonna handle the second one after we're done with this one. This has to do with Click Content Studio marketing these events for the individuals. They'll get in contact with them and figure out the best way to do it. The different tiers were set up in an effort to decide how much money are we gonna allocate towards each type of event. Some of the information that's included in looking at that is what they think's gonna happen as far as people coming to Morris and staying in hotels, and how far out are you trying to draw people. Obviously, with some of them, they're more local. Some of them are more like Prairie Harvest Fest is trying to grab people from all over the place. So the recommendation is to provide tier 2 advertising for the Jazz Crawl and Russ Kinship, and provide tier 1 advertising for Prairie Harvest Fest. And that comes out of the lodging tax funds.
Thank you. Yes, just to note, that comes from the lodging tax that's collected from our lodging establishments in the city of Morris. I will make a motion for that approval on those 3 items.
I will second.
Okay, thank you. Any further discussion? Hearing none, we have a motion and a second to approve the tourism board marketing recommendations. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. All right, we will move on to ordinances and resolutions. The first resolution before us is a resolution establishing the Prairie Harvest Fest as an official city community event. This, I think we do, well, we did this last year too. We had Blaine.
Yeah, and I can jump in. So we do this every year. I was glad to see it was done in 2025.
Yep.
But this really goes back to the days when it was Prairie Pioneer Days, and the city and the Chamber of Commerce worked together on doing Prairie Pioneer Days. And as you probably remember, a lot of the activities were in East Side Park. And so then what the city does is the city takes it on as a city event. That way we're using the resources that the city has, including, facilities, people, things like that. And actually, there's a couple other things that we do with this one. One of them is we provide the funding for the fireworks, and we also have insurance to shoot off fireworks. And more recently, the state of Minnesota changed the rules on having parades on the downtown highways, where they require insurance for individuals that are gonna have parades. So typically cities, schools, when they're doing their parades, the university, when they're doing any kind of parade, have those kinds of insurances. So we get involved sometimes that way. And in the case of the Prairie Harvest Fest, we're also gonna provide some funding through the lodging tax for some of the things that happen during the event, like the fireworks and the bouncy houses and some other stuff. And what they're gonna do is they're gonna provide us a budget and let us know what items they want us to cover, and then we'll bring that back to the, well, actually the tourism board said that it was okay to do that, but we'll bring that back to the city council separately once we get it, so that you can approve that. Typically, it's probably around $10,000, for those kind of things. This year, it's the 250th anniversary of the United States, so I know that there's gonna be a lot of fireworks shows that are gonna be a little bit bigger this year, especially 4th of July. But this is our big city event that we participate in.
And these funds also will come from the lodging tax.
From the lodging tax, yes.
Thank you. I will move approval of a resolution establishing the Prairie Harvest Fest as an official city community event.
I will second that. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I guess I'll just ask for a roll call vote on that resolution, Carolina.
Councilmember Miller,
Yes.
Dawson,
Yes.
Selby, Mayor Walters.
Yes. All right, we have before us a resolution accepting the resignation of Councilmember Zach Krales and declaring a vacancy to exist in a city council member seat. Blaine, maybe you want to just highlight a couple things on that?
Yeah, I think it happened twice since I was city manager. One, when you got elected mayor and had to resign your seat, and we filled it. With Zach, I believe, is the one that came into that seat, and then there was one other time. But the way it works is you do a resolution accepting the resignation. This starts at time clock of 30 days for the city council to make an appointment. If the city council doesn't make an appointment in 30 days, then the mayor has 10 days to make his own appointment. And then that appointment is to fill the seat until the next election, which is in November. And then during that election, the remaining time in that seat will be up for election, which is 2 years, because I think he wasn't up this time. So there is no process for how you do that. It's strictly up to the city council members, how they fill that position. But you do have to do a resolution to officially accept the resignation.
All right, I guess one step at a time. I guess what we can do is take action on that resolution. I guess I can move on that resolution accepting the resignation of council member Zach Krales and declaring a vacancy to exist in a city council member seat.
I will second that, and again, thanking Zach for his time spent on the council and the different boards that he served on, and just stating at our last meeting, between work and a family time, just wasn't fair to his family, he didn't feel, and just again, very thankful for his time and energy spent serving his community.
Well said. Well said. All right. We have a motion and a second regarding that resolution. I guess what I'll do, Carolina, is I'll ask for a roll call vote on that resolution accepting the resignation of council member Zach Krales.
Councilmember Selby, Dawson,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Mayor Walters.
Yes. All right, and now we have before us item C. It's a discussion regarding filling the vacancy of Zach Krales. I guess what I'd like to do is maybe just jumpstart the conversation a little bit, and as City Manager Hill had indicated, it is up to us. We have up to 30 days. We can do it sooner. In the spirit of good governance, I think sooner would be better. It's representative of the public, so I think it's important we take action. I'd just like to start out with a brief statement. Since I took over as your mayor, I've been trying to encourage young adults to become more involved in local politics. I've encouraged a few individuals to volunteer on various boards and commissions over the years. About a year ago, we started a junior council program. We felt that was another way to get young people interested in city government. Last year, Abigail Alcanter served on our junior council. And I think we'll all probably could attest it was a mutually beneficial experience, I think, for all of us. So it's always good when we can engage with our young adults. So I guess with that, I'll just kind of bring it over to the council and see if you have any thoughts on how we want to go about this. If you have some ideas, people that you're thinking of. I have a person of interest, of course, that has indicated to me, sent me an email and indicated that they are interested in the vacant seat. So I don't know if any of you have a name that jumps right out in front of you, but
I would agree that filling it sooner, it gets hard when there's three of us. If one of us wasn't here, we have one missing, and then we just short ourselves if there wasn't a quorum. So filling that position sooner than later would be preferred.
I agree to get the position filled, but also to make the public aware that we have a seat that's open, and we've talked about serving on our boards. If there's more than one person interested in serving on a board, it would be nice for us to have a little bit of a background on an applicant, and would recommend anyone that's interested to submit information to City Hall to just name and their background a little bit and their involvement in our community, and potentially come in and just talk to us at our next meeting if they have time. I think it would be very beneficial for us if there's, and it looks like there's more than one person interested to filling the position. I would just like to be able to have a little comparison and see what we have to choose from. And it's nice at election time also, when that comes in November, to have somebody that randomly gets picked, or if there's one person, it's nice to have some choice and pick somebody that we feel will be the best suited to help serve our community.
Well, I actually, I'll just expand on that, and I'm just gonna throw this out to the council. Tonight, we have an opportunity once again to involve young adults in local politics. I would like to make a motion to nominate Brad Dolan to the vacancy left by Councilmember Zach Krails. Brad happens to be sitting here in the audience tonight, and I guess I was thinking about this. You know, we've been trying to engage young adults and get them more involved in city council. And what better way to do that than to invite them to take a seat on the council? So with that, I make that motion, and it'll be kind of up to you how you want to proceed. I think, again, you know, it's important that we get people, not that we're rushing. You know, we do have 30 days, but I guess I know Brad. I've heard good things about Brad, and I just think that he would be a good addition to our council.
He did, there were 2 people that submitted interest, Brad being one of them. And I just think, since we have 2 members going off at the end of this year, we'll be voting for 2 new members this fall in November. So I just think adding someone, again, like as you said, Kevin, sooner than later. So I'd like to second that decision, that nomination for Brad Dolan to the vacant seat for City Council.
All right, well, thank you. We have a motion and a second to appoint Brad Dolan to fill the vacant seat of Zachary Krails. Will there be any further discussion? Hearing none, I guess I'll just ask for a voice vote on that, please. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Well, welcome.
If you
Right now? Okay.
Yeah, or maybe start.
Well, I don't think Brad was probably expecting this, but we could, if you want to come forward, Brad, we can just swear you in right now. Well, I think what we'll do, did you want to just walk around? Because Joe and maybe just shake his hand and all that good stuff.
Okay.
A little more personal that way, and
Okay.
maybe the paper wants to take a picture while he's getting sworn in, that kind of stuff.
Okay, yeah, I can walk up there.
Might as well make this formal. It's a big moment in this young man's life.
Wow, front page news.
Okay, so, please, repeat after me. I, Brad Dolan,
I, Brad Dolan,
do solemnly swear that I will support
do solemnly swear that I will support
the Constitution of the United States and the state of Minnesota,
the Constitution of the United States and the state of Minnesota,
and the charter of the city of Morris,
and the charter of the city of Morris,
and will discharge faithfully the duties devolving upon me
and will discharge faithfully the duties devolving on me
as council member of the city of Morris to the best of my judgment and ability.
as council member of the city of Morris to the best of my judgment and ability.
All right, and we'll just have you fill this out, and someone here can. So we can do that part later. Oh, okay.
Well, congratulations. Let the education begin, my friend. All right. And again, I thank you for your interest in taking a seat.
We'll have you come and take a seat, because actually there's a added piece of business we have to add now.
Pro tem?
And that is Zach Krells was the pro tem taking over for the mayor. If the mayor was gone, so now you should probably elect a new pro tem.
I would like to nominate Councilmember Miller to the pro tem position.
Doggone, he's back.
Mhm.
You've been pro tem.
I have.
Nothing like
Yeah.
experience
And I
as a
think, Kim,
wingman.
you
I like
have,
it.
haven't you? So,
I will second that.
wow.
Lucky you.
Honored.
We have a motion and a second to appoint Councilmember Jeff Miller as mayor pro tem. And you actually get to vote too. Let's, I'm gonna ask for a roll call vote on that, please, and we'll get Mr. Dolan going here.
Okay, that's what they meant. Okay, Councilmember Don?
Yes.
Right, okay,
Yes.
okay. Selby, Miller,
Yes.
Galton,
Yes.
Mayor Wallers.
Yes. Well, you'll have to switch spots now.
Don't, that's fine, you just hold that, because
Well,
we're
he
just
doesn't,
leading
he
the.
doesn't have a microphone.
Yeah. Well, here, I can fix that. There you go. You're gonna have to know how to plug that baby in.
They'll keep you on your straight and narrow from this distance.
That's right.
You might have to keep me away
Nothing
from.
like a good wingman, I always said. All right. Well, that was a couple of big items that we took care of there. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
All right, we shall move on. Our city manager's reports and recommendations.
Yeah, I'll just touch on a couple things here. Actually, earlier, I don't know if everybody heard, but for myself and Mayor Wallers, it was exciting news to know that there's going to be a National Guard unit back in the Armory here, which we spent a lot of our life in the Armory here. So that was good news. And I want to just touch on, I thank Jim for coming up and apologizing for what happened at the last meeting. You know, we do our best to make sure that we're following all the rules and regulations and doing things the right way. And sometimes, you know, when we're accused of doing something wrong, it's not just me, because I have pretty thick skin, but we have a staff that is responsible for taking care of these issues. And we have a fantastic newspaper that does a very good job of taking care of our needs, and they are our official newspaper. So I think it's just important to understand that. A couple other things I want to share. I will touch on the no mow May, and the easiest way to explain it is we don't do social issues. No mow May is a social issue that has been brought up before to me. Whether or not the city council would get involved with that. And it's really, people can do whatever they want, you know, put up signs in their yards, and we've seen that happen with that, but the city doesn't take an official action either way with regards to that. And quite frankly, by the time we find out somebody's grass is too long, more than likely, and had to send out a letter, it's gonna be beyond the time when they're gonna actually be mowing again anyway. But neighbors complain sometimes when things like that happen. That's why we don't get involved with those kind of things. A couple other things really quick. We started working on codification of the ordinances. Most people have no idea what that means, but I'm working with Stacy on that. We're going through, obviously we passed some ordinances dealing with some things, and we're giving that to the company that's doing the codification to make sure that all of our new ordinances are put into the system. But one of the things I'm gonna do here before I leave is go through, we had a stack of things that we identified over the years that at some point should get adjusted for whatever reason, and looking through the ordinance. I'll give you one quick example. Anybody get a bicycle? Is it licensed in Morris? Because when we were little, we had to get bicycle licenses. In our codes is a licensing requirement for bicycles. They will find those things and identify them for us and say, are you still doing that? We can find those things and say that. There's some other ones that are gonna be interesting discussions, like why are we licensing dogs? Why? There's 11 licenses out right now for dogs in Morris. And I would imagine there's way more than 11 dogs in Morris. We don't have a dog catcher. We don't have a way of finding out who isn't getting their dogs licensed and stuff like that. So those are just some examples of things that are in our codes that we'll take a look at and see if they're still relevant, you know, to leave in our codes. And there might be some things that we don't have in our codes that they will identify that we need to put in them. So that is a process that's gonna be taking place, and then it's gonna come back to the city council to take action. And probably the last thing I would mention is that the state budget forecast came out, and it was a lot better than people thought it was gonna be. The last one that came out, I think it was in December, showed a surplus in the current budget the state's working on, and a big deficit in the next budget the state's gonna be working on. And the latest forecast showed that same surplus, but a surplus going into the next budget of about $380 million, I think it was, which was good news because that meant the economy is doing really well, and that's important to us because of local government aid. Because if the state doesn't have any money, we're not gonna get any more money in local government aid, and it is our #1 funding thing that we get money from. So we're gonna be watching that really close. And then I'm putting together things for the new city manager that's gonna be coming in April 1st, and we'll have a chance to get her dialed into all the things we're working on, and then let her go after it.
Lots of changes. Would there be any questions from any members of the council on our city manager?
Just to highlight the tree giveaway coming up, May 15th, just citizens, community, if you got room to plant a tree, we're gonna be giving away 100 trees, it looks like, and that will be out at the city shop. But just, if you have a spot, you're looking for a tree, it's a nice chance to get a variety of trees. So if you're thinking about it, be a perfect time just to plant a tree.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it went over really well last year. That was a busy day. Planted a lot of trees. Okay, would there be any other things for our city manager's newsletter? Hearing none, we shall move on to board updates. If anybody has anything from their various boards they would like to share, now would be a good time.
I had a couple, even though one's meeting again tomorrow, but the airport board, they did set the date for the second annual fly-in, which will be June 6th from 10 to noon. And that's one of those things, if bad weather, it's just canceled. But last year was a great turnout. There's lots of, as Blaine said, there's lots of great ideas for some new stuff coming in there. Well-attended event, and I believe, have the firemen said they're gonna do a pancake breakfast, or
Yeah,
that's
I
part of
think
the
so.
plan? Yep.
They ran out of pancake batter last year.
Yep, so they'll
So
make
that's
more
all good.
pancake
Went.
batter, but yeah, from 10 to noon, which is an hour shorter than last year, but on June 6th, which is a Saturday. And then, the library board, there'll be more to come, but there was a big mural that was completed by an artist, I'm sorry, I got her name here, Ann Meyer Gerald, I think I did that right. We had two of our guys hang it, Jeremiah and Brad hung it. It's in the children's area, it's a big colorful mural, and they will be having like a dedication and a showing of it, an open house on that eventually. But also in the mural, they took several comments and ideas from libraries patrons as well, including a lot of the kids. So that was kind of fun for people to see what they actually wanted on that mural. So if you happen to be in the library, hang a sharp right as you go in the door in the children's area, and you'll see a big colorful wall mural. So those are just a couple things, highlights.
The fly-in is more than 10 to noon, it's just the breakfast is 10 to noon on the fly-in, correct?
I believe.
No, this year, I think they're gonna shorten it up,
10 to
Okay.
noon,
yeah,
yeah.
because they said last year it went too long. I think.
Okay,
Yeah,
Just-
so no, it's the whole thing is 10
Yeah.
to noon.
okay, just if people are planning to take it in, that they're aware of that, or hopefully it's advertised to have those details highlighted, so if somebody's traveling to come and visit. I was out there last year, and yes, there was people that had traveled from quite a ways to come and take in Morse and the things around,
Yeah.
and that was part of it also, but just so they're aware that it is a shortened version of it. The boards that Mr. Krause was serving on, are we gonna just relay those on, or are we gonna readjust, or?
Well, I was just
Since-
making myself a note on that. We're gonna have to take action on that now. Do we normally we do that through the EDA, don't we? Annually in January.
Yeah, in January.
We usually do that at our
Mhm.
organizational meeting in January, so I'm not sure we've ever had to do this.
You could assign, because you're actually on a board, you're on
Is
the park board.
He's on the
Yep,
park
on the
board.
park board, yep.
So then he
But
would,
Zach was on planning commission and I think one other one.
Tree board.
Tree board. So I don't know if it's fair to Brad that we put him on 3 boards.
Is,
I'm serving on park also, and if he's been serving on park, I guess I'd be willing to jump ship from
Park.
one to the other, or whatever he's comfortable or would like to serve on, or what, Mr. Mayor, what you would like, I would be willing to
I guess.
to take on.
What's your interest level then? Well, the boards we're talking about is planning commission. That was one that Zach was on. And then, of course, the tree board. So, I mean, if you really, I mean,
I don't really have a particular interest in, or more than in one than the other,
okay.
but, yeah, I've been serving on the park board for the last, quite a while. But I'm comfortable with whatever, Jeff would like to do.
I'll go to the planning, I guess, I've served on that, but it's been a while, I think just a new onto the board and throwing things in, and the planning, dealing with a lot of different things, I think that would probably be a better fit for me to take that anyway. If he's willing to do the tree and the park, I'll just, take that planning,
That works for me.
if that works for everybody.
Works for me too. We can just put that in the form of a motion then, and away we'll go. That's.
yeah, I would do a motion to
I'll move
assign
that
those.
Councilmember Dolan take on the responsibilities of the park board and the tree board, and Councilmember Miller move from the park board to the planning commission.
I will second that.
All right. That was easy enough. We'll just have a voice vote on that, please. All those in favor signify by saying aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Now you're gonna be busy.
There we go. I need it.
Okay, we can move on if there's nothing else from any of the various boards. That was gonna be an item under other business for me, but we already took care of that. If there's is there any other business to come before the council? Hearing none,